Hi guys, welcome to the Mischief. I am the Crafty Rat. Right, so today I am trying something a little bit different. I've got two of these. Well, I actually think I've got three, but that's beside the point. From Temu, like everything else here, well, most things, I'll get into that in a minute. So you'll notice that this is a matte mould. Now, normally, if I was doing something like this, I would build it upwards, but I like to complicate things. So I'm doing it backwards, and then I'm going to get my husband to varnish it to get the glossy front on this. Right, so what I'm going to be doing is starting with some clear. I'm going to leave that for, well, until it's tacky. I have already attempted this and I left it too long. Yep. So trying it again. I'm going to leave it until it's tacky, and then I'll be putting some dried flowers in. And I'm guessing that should probably take an hour or two. I will keep checking it every half hour. When I tried this before, I did have it on the heat mat. However, that's all bent and wobbly, so I'm trying to straighten that out. So I'm doing this without the heat mat, so it should give me a bit more time. So I'm putting the flowers on this side here, but on this side, I'm going to be using some of this Flower Soft flock. Now, before my mum passed last year, we were actually intending to use these to see what it was like in resin. I'm sure other people have used it, and I'm pretty certain it'll work absolutely fine with no problems. But I figured it might be nice in this. So once I've done that, and it's all cured and settled, I'm then going to be filling it up. I'm going to be filling one with black, one with white, for no other reason than just to see what it looks like. Right, and that's pretty much the plan for this video. So I'm now going to mix up 120 mils of resin. I'm going to be splitting it between the two, and I will be back once that's mixed and ready to pour. Yep.
Right, so the resin's been mixed up. Now I'm just sprayed the bottom with isopropyl alcohol. Yep, can't say that word, so please forgive me. And I've just poured a little amount in, and I'm just going around the edges just to get the air bubbles that accumulate on the mould under 90-degree angles. Now, with this, it does take me a considerable amount of time for each one, because if you can see the butterflies, there's a lot of angles for the bubbles to accumulate in. So I go around both of them, dislodging the bubbles that I can see, giving a spray of the 99.9% alcohol, and that's what I do for both of them. So I'm just going to leave this playing, put a little bit of background music on, and then I'll be back once this is cured.
In a little shed by the railroad track, she's turning nothing into something that lasts. Resin pours like a flowing dream under the glow of a dim kerosene. Glitter jars and colors so stark shimmer like stars in the deep dark park. Her hands stained with the art she weaves, a touch of magic in the things she leaves. She's the crafty rat with her spinning light, turning the broken into something bright. Chameleon colors, they dance and shift. Every piece she makes a cosmic gift. she'll call her own. She bends the rules that life laid down, finds her spark in this faded town. What she shapes the world can't see, but it's her voice, her quiet decree. She's the crafty rat with her spinning light, turning the broken into something bright. Chameleon colors, they dance and shift. Every piece she makes a cosmic gift. She's the crafty rat with her spinning light, turning the broken into something bright. Chameleon colors, they dance and shift. Every piece she makes a cosmic gift.
Hi guys, okay, so it's been about 90 minutes and it's not cured, however, it's very warm. I don't know if you'll be able to see this. Yep, so it's thick enough to do that. So what I'm going to do now is put the flowers and flock on. So, as I say, one's going to be white, one's going to be black. So, just get these out. Very helpful with my gloves on. Right, so I need to make sure that I get these the correct way. Some like this are fine either way, but others I'll show you in a minute are not. So as you saw, the resin is still very sticky, so I'm literally just going to lay these on top. Right, so I'll do black and white. So I've got my tweezers. Right, so that one is dyed red on that side, but that side is white, so we can clearly see which is the front and which is the back. So I'm just putting a few of these on. So pink, white. I'll put that one over here. Right, so I'm going to put some of this pinky purple one on both, just because I absolutely love these, but also to see how the background affects it. So that. Just going to break off that because I don't need the huge amount. And do I have a light coloured one? I can put a yellow. If I can get it off the plastic. Yep. Right, so there are some leaves in this. I'm not going to use that. Well, no, yeah. I'm going to pull off a couple of these little ones at the bottom. And just hide it in there. Do one for this side. Now, I do have my gloves on because even though I'm not touching the resin, just in case I get some on my fingers. So I'm just trying to be a little bit safe there. So let me have a look. Let's see if I can do anything with these because I quite like these. So I think again I'm just going to take a bit off the bottom. Make sure it's the correct way around. And do the same for this one. I'll put it up there, I think. Right, so I think that's it for these ones. Now I'm just going to put a couple of the smaller ones on. So try not to get it all over the place. Just pull these away so they don't get everywhere. Right, so let's have a look. So this one's black, so I want some pale ones. So that one's white, it doesn't matter which way around it goes. Let's put that there. And I will have a red. I'll use a smaller one. And put that down there. And on this side, I've already got red on this side, but it's already out, so. And this one's white, so I can put a little bit more dark. I might go with this dark blue. Yep, oopsie. Never mind. If I wasn't going to use it, if I was undecided, that certainly made up my mind for me. Right. Now I'm just going to put a couple of little pieces in these bigger areas here. So again, all of this, I believe, yep, all of this stuff that I've used so far is from Temu. And the purple one. There we go, and then a couple on this one. I think I'll have a bright orange one. And this pinky one. I'm hoping with a black background it'll make some of these really pop, but never done anything like this before, so I'll soon find out. Right, so that's for the flowers. Now I'm on this side, I'm literally just going to sprinkle a bit of this. I don't want it completely covered. I just want a light dusting, so I'm going to put some green at the bottom and maybe a little bit on the bottom here, and then I think this is sweet pea. I'm going to put that over the top on these sides. This is probably going to stick to my gloves, so I shall use my tweezers. And just get resin, little strands of resin all over the place. No, I've got to take my glove off and yeah, please forgive the nails. Realising I love doing mini Legos, it's great. However, when you've got nail varnish on and you're fiddling with little bits of Lego, it tends to chip off. And that's something I'm hoping to do in a while, is cast some of my Lego pieces in resin. So I'm just sprinkling this across the bottom. I don't know how well it's going to stick. So I might just gently push it down with an old paintbrush. Oh no, I can use my silicone tool. So I'm just putting green towards the bottom of both sides. I'm not completely covering it. I want the background to show through. But I do want a good amount on there. So right, so I'm literally just gently pressing it into the surface, just to ensure that majority of it sticks. So I'm not bothered if it all does or not, but I'd like some there, so when I put the background colour on, you'll still be able to see it. Right, so that's that one. I'm going to have to do this all over again, so I should have just waited until I put the sweet pea on. I do find the name of the sweet pea colour very appropriate for me, because my logo is one of my rats who passed recently. He was a little love. He was called Sweep. We had Sooty and Sweep. I had the two boys. My eldest daughter had Sue, who was the little girl. And we just recently lost Sweep and Sue. So I think this is quite nice. So as I say, I'm just covering a lot of this, but not all of it. And then I will tap it down with a silicone stick. I don't mind if little bits of this gets into the other side. It's looking very spring-like, summery. I hope it turns out. Okay, so I'm just going to push that down into the surface. Just to make sure. Push these, just make sure these are secured. Yep, they all look to be. So I just need to remember when I come to do the backing, this one's black, this one's white. Watch me, I will no doubt forget, but it'll be right all the same. Right, so that's been tapped down. These are all fine. Yep. Right. So I'm just going to let this cure a little bit more. And then I'll be back in a few hours. And I'll be back with my next load of resin ready to mix up. I'll separate it at that point, and then I can pour the backs of these. Right, that's it for the moment.
Okay, so I've mixed up the resin, and all I'm doing now is splitting it in half into the 2 cups. In one, I'm putting the black, and you can guess what I'm putting in the other. I'm just giving these a good mix. I don't mix that quick in real life. I wish I could. I wish I could move that quickly, but I can't. So I'm just adding a bit more because I do want these opaque. I don't want to be able to see through. So again, as with the first pour that I did with the clear, sprayed alcohol in and then just filling up with the black on this one, and then doing the same with the whites. Just giving it another good quick mix to make sure it's thoroughly mixed. Right, so now I'm just popping the bubbles. You can see me poking them there. Just going through. Now with this, I do spend a considerable amount of time after I turn the video off popping bubbles. It feels as though, because some of the flock and the petals weren't pushed in properly, there was a lot of bubbles under there that kept rising up. So I did spend a considerable time. My words are not wording tonight. And now I've got some new powder from Temu. I've just put them in the shells and just pouring the black and white. For no other reason, I had a tiny amount of leftover. Now I'm scraping and scraping and scraping just to try and fill this up. Yep, don't work. So off to the side, I have some little stones, which I got, about 5 or 6 years ago for a different project I did. And I'm just putting the stones in just to fill it up. So I put quite a few in the white one, but I do also put a couple in the black. Even though the white stones, they don't show. So yeah, I'm just filling that up. And then, right now, I'll leave it to cure and pretend that my words are wording.
Hey, okay, time to get these finished. So I'm going to unmold these ones first and then I'll do these. So this was just the leftover. I wanted to see what effect some powder I got from Temu had. So it's not a perfect thing, but I like it. My daughter will no doubt nick it. Let's have a look at the black one. Ooh, definitely prefer this one. So with this, I use the exact same powder, and you can see the huge difference in the outcome. So this is a purpley orange colour. This to me, this looks more purple with a hint of orange when I change the light. Yeah, that's the same. And this one, you can just about make out the orange and a hint of purple, but on the white it's not noticeable. So I know now that this powder that I used, I'll be using with the black. So that's it. Right, now on to the main deal. So I did stick with it for a little while after I'd poured it, kept getting rid of some of the bubbles, and it's done a lot better than I thought it would. So that's the back. Let's see how the front looks. So I'll get them out first and then I'll turn them over at the same time. The butterflies make it a little bit awkward, but it's come out okay. Just need to tidy up the mould. So that's that one. So there are a couple of little bubbles on the back, but being the back, it's not too bad. Alright, so now for the white one. Now, also on this, it's the same on the black, but you can see little bits of the flock has risen to the surface that wasn't stuck down on the previous layer of resin. But again, as it's the back, I don't feel as though that's much of an issue. I'll just get these butterflies, they are a little bit tough. So there's a little bit of clean up to do on the back. Alright, so let's take a look at these. Now don't forget, this is a matte mould, so these will be matte. Ooh. So I'm going to get my husband tomorrow, when it's daylight, to spray these with a varnish. Where's my alcohol? And my husband's gone and nicked it, and no, he's not drinking, so I'm just going to see if this will give you some kind of idea. I'm really liking that. So that's hopefully once the varnish is on. I love that. Alright, now let's do the same for the white one. Wow, I'm really loving these. I think my personal favourite's probably the black one, but why don't you guys let me know which one you prefer? Right, I'll get my husband to varnish these and then we'll get some pictures put on the end, but let me know what you think, everyone. Right, see you next time. Bye.
tiny paws are working by the porch pale light. A mason jar of resin and a sparkle in their eye, pouring mischief like the moon, pouring light from the sky. She's the crafty rat with her spinning light, turning the broken into something